The phone rang at 8:12 p.m. Her name glowed across the screen. I already knew the tone of her voice before answering, tight, irritated, like someone who had been inconvenienced by the existence of another human being. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." My daughter-in-law didn't even bother with hello. In the background, I heard laughter, plates clinking, the hollow echo of a large dining room. My son's voice somewhere far away, muffled. I stared out the window of my small apartment. Rain smeared the glass like fingerprints. "Everyone's busy," she continued. "So if you want to help out, you can come early and clean up after dinner." A pause. Waiting, expecting submission. For years, she had spoken to me like that. Like I was a dusty piece of furniture she tolerated only because my son hadn't thrown it away yet. I could hear her breathing. Impatient, annoyed. "Hello, did you hear me?" I did. Every word. I leaned back in my chair and looked at the photograph sitting on my desk. Snow-covered mountains. A lake so still it looked like glass. My house. My real house. The one nobody in the family knew about. "Enjoy Thanksgiving," I said quietly. Then I hung up. 20 minutes later, I posted the photos. The villa. The private dock. The wine cellar. The snow falling across the Swiss Alps behind the terrace. My phone began ringing 5 minutes later. It rang 71 times that night. Greed has a smell. You don't notice it at first, but once you do, it's everywhere. 3 years ago, my son married her. Melissa. Bright smile. Soft voice. Eyes that scanned every room like an appraiser calculating resale value. The first time she visited my apartment, she looked around slowly. Not curious, disappointed. "So, this is where you live?" I nodded. She didn't try to hide the judgment. Over time, the small comments began. Little knives. "You know, my parents retired early. My father invested wisely. Some people just plan their lives better." I never argued, never explained. She assumed I was a poor old man surviving on a pension, and I let her believe it. Because people reveal their true character when they think you're useless. Then things became stranger. Phone calls from my son stopped coming. Visits became rare. Whenever we spoke, Melissa was nearby, listening, filtering. Once, during dinner at their house, she joked loudly across the table. "Your dad could help out sometimes, you know. Maybe babysit in the future, or clean up after holidays." Everyone laughed. Except my son. He stared at his plate. That was the first moment I saw it. Control. She was building something, and my son was slowly disappearing inside it. So I started watching, quietly. Old habits never leave you. 40 years in corporate intelligence teaches patience. People think investigation is dramatic. It isn't. It's quiet. Phone records, financial traces, patterns. I began with simple observation. My son's work hours, Melissa's business trips, frequent hotel charges, not cheap ones, luxury suites, champagne service. Then came the jewelry. Receipts, diamonds, bracelets, necklaces, none of them appearing on her social media, which meant they weren't gifts from my son. I tracked locations. 3 hotels, same city, same dates, different names booking the rooms, but always the same card number attached to the minibar charges, Melissa's. I didn't feel anger, just confirmation. Greed doesn't travel alone. It usually arrives with secrets. The final piece appeared one night at 1:04 a.m., an invoice forwarded to the wrong email. Not mine, but close enough. A private jewelry store. Total purchase $48,700. Paid by a man named Daniel Keller. Address attached. Married. 2 children. I leaned back in my chair. The puzzle finished itself. Melissa wasn't just controlling my son. She was bleeding another man dry. Hotels. Champagne. Diamonds. And still treating me like a servant. Interesting. Very interesting. The evidence folder was thin, elegant, precise. Photos, receipts, hotel records, jewelry invoices, everything arranged chronologically. I invited them both for dinner. Melissa arrived first. Perfume, perfect hair, that polite smile she used when pretending to tolerate me. "Your apartment looks the same," she said. Of course it did. It was supposed to. My son sat quietly beside her. Tired eyes. Drained. I placed the folder on the table. Melissa looked at it. Then at me. "What's that?" "Your travel expenses," I said. She laughed lightly, until she opened it. The color drained from her face page by page. Hotel photographs, champagne bills, the diamond receipt, Daniel Keller's name circled in red. Her hand began to shake. "This is ridiculous," she whispered. My son turned slowly toward her. "What is this?" She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. I watched them both carefully. No anger, just observation. My son flipped through the pages, then closed the folder. Silence filled the room. Melissa finally looked at me. Her voice cracked. "Why are you doing this?" I smiled slightly, because she still didn't understand. "I didn't expose you," I said calmly. "I saved you." Her confusion was genuine. "Daniel Keller's wife receives these tomorrow morning." Melissa's breath caught. My son looked up sharply.
"What?"
"Unless," I continued, "you explain everything to my son tonight." Tears formed instantly. Perfect performance. Except now nobody was watching except the people she had lied to. "I made a mistake," she whispered. One mistake. $48,000 worth of diamonds. 3 hotel suites. Months of deception. My son stood slowly. His face had gone pale. "Is it true?" Melissa reached for his hand. He pulled it away. The room felt cold. She looked at me desperately. "Please don't ruin my life." I leaned forward slightly. "You started that process yourself." Another silence. Heavy, final. Then my son picked up the folder and walked out. Melissa followed him, crying, begging. The door closed behind them. I never sent the files to Daniel Keller's wife. I didn't need to. Truth had already detonated where it mattered. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers were filed. My son called me once, just once. His voice sounded older, tired. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" "Because some lessons can't be borrowed. They have to be lived." Melissa called dozens of times. Messages, apologies, excuses. I ignored them all. Then I posted the photographs of my villa in Switzerland, snow across the mountains, wine cellar, private lake, my real life, the life she never bothered to imagine. That was the night my phone rang 71 times. Not from my son, from Melissa. But I never answered. Because the most devastating revenge isn't shouting, it's silence. And the moment someone realizes they destroyed their own future, while the person they tried to belittle was never beneath them at all,